And hi guys, and welcome to this show with me as my friend Kit from Chicago Reacts, as always. And we have two major topics and one little topic that we're going to talk about here in this stream. So, hi to you, Kit. How are you?
I'm doing great. But I think we're all right now a little bit of a state of shock with what happened over the weekend. And this is happening in my country. It took place in Butler, Pennsylvania, and that was unfortunately somebody trying to take the life of former president and presidential candidate for the 2024 election cycle, Donald Trump. And I remember messaging you like, "Wow, well, things went really crazy and over the weekend for me. How was your weekend?"
Well, yeah, I just woke up and scrolled through Twitter real quick, and I saw one person was already gloating about this. It's like, oh, I feel conflicted about this. And another guy was like, what are you conflicting about? Are you kidding me? This was assassination attempt. There's
Mhm.
nothing to be conflicted about. Our future president could be dead. One person did die who was actually a hero. I read about him
Mhm.
yesterday and today, a firefighter at the age of 50. He actually is a hero. He protected his family and got the bullet for that. So there's so many things to be discussed here. I watched so many things since then. So yeah, I woke up. For me, that was Sunday. For you it was Saturday. For me, it was Sunday. Because of the time difference, but it was everywhere here as well. It's the same thing like in America. It was everywhere. Yeah.
You know, when we were speaking, the whole story was developing, and what I was surprised by was overall, that there were some people who wanted the worst to happen. And I have to say this: I'm glad that Trump is safe. I don't want anything bad to happen to any candidate. Um, but if things went wrong, if if all the scenarios that were playing out, if anything went wrong, I don't know what Sunday or Monday or today would look like, because there would be outrage and anger in the streets. And I I can't believe I witnessed something like that in my lifetime, because in the United States we read about the assassination attempt on Ronald Reagan, JFK. We hear that about Theodore Roosevelt, what happened to him, what happened to William McKinley, and of course, there was also what happened to Abraham Lincoln too. And you look at those moments in time as things that were just in the past, but when you see it happen right before you, it is a horrific event. And it does say, I have so many questions about overall the security. How many people fail to do their job to provide site security? Because unfortunately, a firefighter did lose his life trying to protect his immediate family, and there were a couple other recipients, people who were there, attendees who were wounded. Now, I believe that they are in stable condition. That's what was at least the recent update around that. But this random shooter who gets on top of what was a staging area for the police now, because so what is shocking is that the roof that the shooter got on, that was a staging area for the authorities. So who was keeping an eye around the whole area where this kid can just go on top of a roof, point his rifle weapon at a former president and now presidential candidate, and no one was going to bat an eye, and it all could have been avoided. There's so many videos out there on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, where everyone's saying like, "Hey, there's this person on this roof. There's a person up there," and no one in any position of authority was doing their job. And it 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 nearly could have caused such a catastrophic disaster. And I'll say this: at this point, Trump is the anti Civil War candidate. Also besides that, was that $1 billion photo, that iconic photo of him with his fist in the air and the American flag right above him.
Oh yeah, t-shirts
Um,
will be made with that. Mugs will be made with that. Yes.
oh yeah, no. Not only is it iconic, it is the $1 billion photo. But I can safely say this: that Trump will get reelected into the White House. He very well can secure his presidency. and there's nothing that the Democrats, Joe Biden, or anybody else can do to
Or
stop
his
it. I mean,
aunt.
he
Yeah,
yes,
like we say
and
here. Or his aunt even, yeah. That's a joke, but we have to talk about Space Marine first. I'm sorry to interrupt
oh,
you.
okay. Oh,
Because
oh,
people
oh,
in the
oh, oh,
chat
really?
are
Then sorry.
very eager for that. And I mean, and then we're going to continue with the Trump topic because it is a bit
Yes,
longer than the
yes,
Space
of
Marine
course.
one. Uh,
Cool.
so so yeah, guys, hi to everybody in the chat. We talked about first a bit, of course, the presidential assassination attempt. We're going to continue with that a bit later. Now we have to talk about Space Marine 2 and what actually happened. So basically, the game somehow got leaked, as far as I understood. Some Russian hackers, which are very, very good actually, they hacked somehow Saber Interactive and got the whole game. Basically, looks like this is almost a final version, but some assets were missing here and there, so not exactly final, but it might be one of the latest builds of the game for sure. And they just posted on a Russian site, and as far as I saw, around 500 people, as of us making of the stream, have downloaded it. They leaked some footage online, and of course, Saber Interactive have been trying to take those down, as far as I gathered. Of course, guys, this is not good for anyone. I mean, it's not good for the studios, not good for us, the fans. For some reason, also, people say that they can also play the multiplayer, which is absolutely crazy. I don't know how that happened. Are the servers just open for this version? Probably. I mean, can the studio somehow stop them if they see that they're playing on their servers? I really can't say, guys. But this is very nuts, considering that there are so many other studios that that Russian group could have been, you know, in the pants off, so to speak. That's a
Mhm.
very funny thing to say. So yeah, how the heck did this happen? And I tried to find the game so I can see if this is really something that you can reach right now, but I could not reach it. The torrent site that this game is in, if I even found the right one, is blocked by the antivirus programs, basically right away. So you probably have to take down your own antivirus to get there, and nobody would advise that, of course, because you don't know
No,
how
don't do
dangerous
that.
this is. Yeah. So, what do you think, Kit, about all of this?
Yeah, I'll keep it very. I'll be on point with this one. First of all, the issue is that Space Marine 2, it was a long-awaited, hyped-up game, and the fact that it is now out and available, the studio is going to have to do a massive amount of damage control because there will be some clever, mad individuals that will try and play the whole game from start to finish, or either that release as much of that information out there about the game to the public. So this is first of all, it's rather devastating that a hacker or hackers could do this. And number two, at this point, they better hope that Space Marine 2 is a work of art and a good game because now the whole community can see it and they no longer have to wait. But this is also devastating for the company because, let's say the game is good, right? And from what you've told me, like, people are saying that the game is great, that they're having fun playing it. This was supposed to be a big surprise, and now the surprise and the big opening have been taken away. Like there's nothing more anybody can do now because the damage is done. But who is also in charge of security? Who's in charge of making sure that the game isn't leaked out early? Because somebody's got to pay for this. However which way it is, even if it is all accidental, and where is the security? Where were the firewalls? How can this happen? How can a very powerful production company just let this happen on their watch?
That is a very interesting question, and I'm also watching chat. Yeah, how? Because video game studios, even for a lot more larger caliber, they also get hacked. Sometimes they also get hacked. So you gotta do something about that because I mean, who wants to play such a build of the game? Only the most eager people. And I'm also eager to play the game. People have been waiting for this. I have been waiting for this in my own way. This is the most anticipated game of this year. I mean, before it was also Assassin's Creed, but now it's not because they totally crapped that. So
Yes, yes, the infamous Assassin's Creed Yasuke, and where they got the whole uniform culture and so much more wrong. I still can't believe Ubisoft actually gave that the green light and decided to let that go. Plus, did you hear they actually had like some of the buildings like they're from China, not from Japan?
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah. They also got
yeah.
wrong the plants, the season of the plants, the locations, I think, of some of the plant life. They actually placed a shrine door just like on an empty field. But usually, when you have this shrine door, you're supposed to go through it and then supposed to see a shrine. But there was no shrine, just the field. They probably just think that this is some kind of an arc and that is it. It's not a shrine door. It's nothing. Just not
That is
gonna mention.
beyond embarrassing.
Yeah, it
That
is.
is beyond embarrassing. But you know, I am now curious because look, here's the thing. I want to play the game. I hope to get a chance to play the game, but I don't want it to get ruined. And if this was a fun Warhammer 40K project, you know, I only can imagine how, let's say by proxy, not by proxy, but how Games Workshop is going to be reacting to this. I mean, you know what this is going to do for Games Workshop, and I think a lot of us realize just how triggered Games Workshop can be. They're going to be really cracking down on the internet, and they're going to be cracking down on so many content creators. Because let's say you have a person who does a let's play of the Space Marine, right, or of Space Marine 2. You know, I could see Games Workshop, you know, on a warpath going after anyone that's 40K content related. That means even those who even might have mentioned the game, they'll probably use YouTube's copyright or censorship system to go after, you know, content creators. Like there's a whole consequence and fallout that comes from this. And I know that Games Workshop is going to overreact like they always do.
Oh boy, kid, I found something here that we have to
Oh no.
mention. Yeah, I better give
Oh
it to
no.
you if you like to read it because you're going to read it better than me. But uh, the
Everything send it via private message on the chat or the Discord or wherever.
yeah, so Daniel just mentioned about the Saber Embracer. I mean, this is about a pretty big thing now. I mean, the hacking of Space Marine, as far as I can see. Okay, I'm gonna try to send that to you in the chat somehow.
No problem. But Chad, how do you feel about Space Marine 2? Space Marine 2 out there now.
Space Marine! I mean, the way that the orcs are saying it, Space Marine.
Space Marine!
Yeah,
Spice! Bloody well.
yeah. Okay, hold on.
Okay,
If not, I'm gonna read it because I'm probably gonna ruin all the things that I did. You know, the
that's
layout.
okay.
So I probably better try to read it. Okay. Okay, guys. Hold on. I want to also see the chat in the same time. But okay, so Embracer Group ceases all operations in Russia through the heck is that? Okay, something about selected assets from the operated group Saber Interactive. Inside information, Embracer Group AB Embracer has today entered into an agreement to divest selected assets from the operative group Saber Interactive for a purchase price of USD 247 million or SEK 2520, yeah, including assumed
Wow.
earnout liabilities of USD 44 million. But before any additional consideration through this divestment, I really have not seen this word in my life, guys. I'm sorry. Embracer cases. Jesus. Embracer ceases all operations in Russia while immediately improving cash flow, reducing capex, net debt, and future liabilities. The buyer is Beacon Interactive, a company controlled by Saber Interactive co-founder Matthew Karch. I'm pleased that we have found a win-win solution for Embracer and the parts of Saber that now will leave us. Well, what is this mess? I mean, it's hard to get what this is about.
Hmm. Okay. So
It seems that they are
what
selling.
yeah, so what this tells me is that around this time then that's when you have a whole moment of failure, like all around. I mean, then explains why stuff can easily get hacked. Then it also explains why there's always a lackluster or you know a skeleton crew of site security via online to protect said assets. So when you have like an unstable environment where people are selling or willing to merge or do anything with their major corporation, you have people who are not going to be keeping their eye on the ball.
Yeah, I don't see this having anything to do with the hack though.
There is a way, and that is, and again, this is kind of stretching it, but when you have a merger or you have a company selling or doing something in that relation, you're going to have, I guess, a lack of communication with anyone that's not on the upper echelon of leadership or who's in the room making the business deals. So you're probably going to have people who are not as involved, or either that, you're going to have security kind of take a 5 minute break.
Yeah, well, as far as I can see, actually, much easier to read. From PC Gamer article, Embracer Group will reportedly sell Space Marine 2 Studio Saber Interactive for 500 million. Saber Interactive, which Embracer acquired in 2020, will continue to operate as a privately owned company. A Bloomberg report says that Swedish holding company Embracer Group has reached a deal worth as much as 500 million to sell its Saber Interactive division to a group of private investors. The deal will make Saber Interactive a privately owned company, according to the report, with approximately 3,500 employees. Embracer brought Saber Interactive in 2020 and at the height of its acquisition spree. It was made the fifth operating group under Embracer's corporate structure and currently serves as the parent of numerous other studios, including 4A Games, Aspyr, Beamdog, New World Interactive, Sipgate, Ironworks, and Tripwire. Never heard of those in my life. But Embracer ran into trouble in May 2023 when an investment deal worth $2 billion, reportedly with Saudi Arabia's Savvy Games Group, fell through. Since then, the company has laid off hundreds of employees and closed multiple studios, in some cases, such as with Time Splitter Studio Free Radical Design, after failing to find potential new owners, and so on. So basically, this is a done deal as far as I can see, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
how is that gonna be better or not? We don't know.
what this is probably just a way for people to earn more money and add to the pile. Like all these mergers and all these business deals, it's not the big boon that people would say it is. What it is, it's a perfect opportunity for people to do, or either that people start engaging in the process of firing so many people. Because when you do a merger, all of a sudden you got so many people. That means people are going to get the notice saying, hey, we want to thank you for 5, 10, 15, 20 years of your service. Now you're fired. Pack up and go home.
Awesome. Awesome. And Ivan says they said it wasn't hacked, but someone on the inside got the copy. I have not read that yet, Ivan, so I can't say. But in any case, this sucks for the studio, and they're obviously trying to get everything down. But yeah, I really don't see a point for anyone to risk their computer. You can get, I mean, a very fat virus of unknown origins if you try to search for the game. So better wait for the around 3 months now and play the game properly, like it should be played.
Yeah. Avoid the easy way of playing the game. You know, people want to like download it for free or get it pirated. Unless you want to take that risk for your PC or either to have a malicious malware or any type of virus impact your computer. I mean, is it worth it? I mean, who doesn't like to have fun? But you know, if you start acting reckless, then you are going to be putting yourself in a very dangerous spot because you don't know if that said website that you're going to get said game that's out there and available. I mean, how certain are you that your own private information won't be shared on the web, or either that, um, how you certain that even if you were to download it, that you wouldn't get a virus for your PC or laptop? I mean, that's just it's wrong, and it's a foolish gamble for people to make. I know that people want to play and people want instant gratification, but um, it's safer to wait and get the official product than get something that could be very dangerous for you, with the consequences still not yet being fully known.
Absolutely. And Main says, Saber, World War Z is amazing. That will be so good. Well, I pretty sure that I played World War Z at some point at the beginning, but back then I had a lot more time, so I tried it. I was like, okay, not a zombie game right now, thank you. Basically, but for those people that really enjoy these games, they have enough time because really, you do require that. Then, of course, you can appreciate the game a lot more. And Daniel says, triple wire made killing floor. That is that too, because I don't see it from my heart again. And soon to release 3 really good games. Yeah, probably it is too. I never play that. I have it because I think that Epic Games released it for absolutely free, but they never tried. They never tried it before, so I cannot say about this game in particular. There are just so many games at some point, and I like starting one and have to leave it for some reason. It's just very annoying. I haven't even finished with Assassin's Creed Mirage, and that's never an occurrence for me.
Hmm. Well, one other thing here too that I am curious about for Space Marine 2. Since it is available now, or either that since it's been leaked out, um, what do you think is going to be one of the fallouts from this? Because I'm thinking like Games Workshop is just going to go on the warpath, but do you think anything is going to come of it? That's because I think a lot of people want to know like how will Games Workshop react to all of this, and I see them acting completely irrational because they've never once showed themselves to be honest players, especially when it comes time to go after, especially when it's fighting for its IP. Let's be clear here. No one in the Games Workshop community is going to say like, "Oh, I created Warhammer 40K," but you know, when we look at all the fan arts and the animations, like there was a lot of channels that talked and made content, fan made content about Warhammer 40K, and I could see Games Workshop after this, just constantly flagging people, even if they had nothing to do with the game at all.
Oh, I don't know, because it seems that Saber Interactive themselves are going after whatever videos they are or they were. I don't know if they deleted them already on YouTube. So it is it's their responsibility really to do this.
Mhm.
Maybe Games Workshop can help a little bit, but I really doubt that. And Mr. MuleTube is here. Even if it's leaked after all of those revelations, I wait for the reviews if it's a good game or not. Until then, no pre-orders. Of course, no pre-orders. I mean, the pre-orders are useless. I mean, what is that good for? I
Yeah, it's
don't
better
really
to
know.
wait. Of
Yeah,
course.
it's
No, I look, when we have this instant system of trying to get what we want and it, you know, coming right before us, the best option is to just wait. Wait for the official game to come out. Because there's going to be bugs, there's going to be some other issues there, and you might as well just wait, spend the money, your hard-earned money, and get a product that you're going to like playing. And from what I've heard, especially early before this Russian leak came out, because we reacted to some of the trailers for Space Marine 2, and the game looks phenomenal, and I am ever hopeful that the story, the gameplay are both going to be interesting, fun, and finally entertaining. Um, I think we all deserve a little bit break with all the craziness that's been happening in 2024, and Space Marine 2 could be that. I guess maybe that outlet for escapism.
yeah. I mean, it's such an upgrade visually and gameplay wise. Looks like a huge upgrade compared to Space Marine 1, and that's already a very, very good game. And Mr. Milutube says, by the way, there is an interesting rumor about the fam studies that it wasn't Amazon and or Games Workshop, but what is it? Woke
A
tarded
woke
intern.
woke tarded.
Woke tarded intern
Yeah.
who also
Yes.
was drunk while changing some things like pronouns. What? Are you for real, Mr. YouTube?
No, he's probably joking. He most likely 10 out of 10, I believe he's joking. But it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case because it seems to me that a lot of these intellectual properties are hiring people that have no knowledge of what they're going to be working for, or either that they don't care about it. And whoever this new guy is, he's right now probably in the worst of it because that's just yeah.
Yeah, I mean, don't joke about those things because anything about them stories, I'm gonna be right on it. And you know that, so don't joke about
Yeah.
them stories, please. And Queen says, the worst case of hurry up and wait. Yes, I love that expression. Hurry up and wait.
Hurry up and wait. Play the waiting game.
What? Mr. YouTube says, found it on Air Heresy. What the heck is Air Horse Heresy? And I was not joking, it's right there. I will not link it because rules and stuff. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure that maybe the chat is blocked with the links, which YouTube does, but
Yeah.
damn it, that's interesting. Okay, guys, so do not, keep this on for too long. We gotta move on now to the topic that we started from the beginning, which is, of course, the President Trump and assassinations and what we know so far about the situation. I said assassination, damn it. Assassination attempt. One, hopefully. I mean, since then, actually, a lot of the news have been also connected with people that are famous people, like Destiny, for example. I
Oh
never
yeah.
even watched him before, but it seems like he got totally radicalized somehow, totally nuts, went on X, said absolutely horrendous things that you can have your hair being straightened out right away when you hear them. And I don't know why is that. I mean, why is I mean, where is the common sense? I just don't get all the crazy talk that is actually not excusable at all. So have you seen
No.
some of the things that Destiny said? There's someone
Hmm.
another guy that I saw, Dev, that he used to be
Yes.
like on Arch, but I haven't seen anything that he did with Arch before, so I have no impressions of him. He's also like in this same manner, joking and stuff. So have you seen anything of that? And what do you think?
First of all, having a social media platform, especially when you have millions upon millions of viewers, it is your responsibility to really check yourself and be careful what you say. I think Destiny at the end of the day is probably going to be landing on his feet. However, he is going to be viewed as a pariah for quite some time because Donald Trump, almost lost his life. And as I said earlier, if he was in the in a different spot to where the bullet really could have connected, I think that there would be violence in the street. And the reason why we see people like Destiny or other people saying, "Oh, I want something bad happen to Trump," that's not me saying it. That's other people saying it, by the way, because I don't want anything bad to happen to Trump. Uh, for many reasons. Um, but the reason why they're acting the way they're acting is because of our media. In America, we have about maybe 4 or 5 corporations that control 95 to 98% of all media here in the United States. So that means that the corporations run things. And for the most part, especially during the Trump presidency for his first term from 2016 to 2020, corporate media like MSNBC, CNN, CBS, ABC, they were on this warpath to portray Trump as the next Hitler, which, let's be clear, Trump and Adolf are two different people altogether. They have nothing in common. Their values do not match up. And I think it's rather insulting because we've seen so many people who are activists or social justice warriors who get triggered when they hear the name Trump and then want to portray him as this end all be all bad guy. And when you have a media that purposely creates the environment of this is who we should hate, it's going to click with many of the people watching television or watching online and say, okay, well the media is saying it, so it has to be true. And the problem is here in America, our media has lied to us a lot. our media has constantly led us astray. And I encourage anyone that's overseas, if you live in a different country, you know, thank your lucky stars that you don't have what we have here for media, because the media is not designed to inform people. It's designed to keep them in fear, in a constant state of fear, and to be subservient to whatever policies said government officials will write. And Trump, walking away from that, he has cemented himself as somebody who has achieved immortality. I mean, that photo was the American flag, this raised up in the sky. This will be taught in history classes, and unfortunately, what I am worried about is just overall what will Secret Service and other law officials do, knowing that very well Trump is going to be hosting more rallies and events. I mean, he should not have been exposed the way he was, and everybody should consider themselves lucky that Trump was able to walk away from a bullet wound. So, yeah, I think that's just kind of. I know I should try not to ramble on too much.
That's okay. So yeah, and Quinn actually says, "Oh, I was on the X Space conversation with Destiny and Cat. I don't know who Cat is. It was hilarious. The boy should rename himself Delusional. Well, Quinn, if you have that, please take screenshots. I
Yeah,
gotta see
screenshots are
them.
key.
I gotta see them. And Mr. Militube, I went actually like 2 minutes ago to that Reddit place that you said. Still haven't found it, but I hope that I find it, okay? Because I gotta see that Custodes thing. Yeah. So not only, Destiny, but other people like Mercante, that Mercante person, Alicia Mercante, something, I always forget her name. But yeah, she's also like, oh, this is awesome and everything. But yeah, I have to just see exactly what he said, because there are just so many things, and he even said that publicly in the video, and he was basically glowing about not caring even if his followers die or something like that. I mean, that is like in crazy town now. I mean, what is your excuse even of saying anything, pretty much? Because you have no excuse. Absolutely not. You deserve to be, well, with thrown with, I mean, not thrown, but you deserve to have a lot of tomatoes on your face. Let's say that, throw the tomatoes, maybe potatoes as well, because at least they're heavier and gonna hurt more. And Quinn says it was a voice panel conversation. Not sure if anyone recorded it though. Okay. If it is, it's gonna be good to find it, because anything that he says now is pretty much a delusion for the ages. But yeah, Kit, I mean, from the outside perspective, that's what I wanted to say, for someone that is thousands and thousands of miles away, here in Bulgaria, what you say is what is very, very open and obvious to everyone else in the world. And I actually never seen such intense and ridiculous propaganda that defies all logic, like what I saw from some of the news and how Trump was attacked and all of those things. I never seen such hate in my life, the way that they're trying to destroy him with some ridiculous lawsuits. Then they call him the R word, RAP, whatever word. Like, how do you sleep at night? How do those people sleep at night? How can you do such a thing to anyone, let alone
Well,
a guy like Trump, who actually did bring some prosperity and he did fix a lot of issues when he was in power, and we never had the wars then. He tried to prevent it even and that time, as far as I know, there were some moments where there could be wars, but he was like, not on my watch. That's basically
well,
what did happen.
there were a couple incidents. First of all, we're looking back to his first term. I'll never forget the media's hypocrisy. It was him ordering a missile strike into Syria. I think it was maybe 2017, maybe early 2018. And corporate media for a long time was saying that Trump was not presidential, but until he made that order, that strike, all of corporate media was saying, "Oh, now he looks like a president." and you had Wolf Blitzer saying, "Yeah, Trump ordered the launch of those big, beautiful missiles." So they were all excited for that. And then there was also an incident where Trump ordered a drone strike on an Iranian general, I believe, sometime in January of 2020. But besides that, we did not enter into any new wars. We were still in some of the same old wars. But Trump, as a candidate, though, was easily vilified by corporate media because it was easy for corporate media to hype him up that way. Because what people forget is that Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton did encourage Trump to run in 2016. And they did so because they assumed that he would be an easy candidate to defeat. And they weren't really expecting that, he was able to run on a message that earned him millions upon millions upon millions of American voter support. Um, but he's also kept his political organization and movement together even after the 2020 election cycle. And the media was made a fool of by Donald Trump. And if you look back to even 2016, when he would be holding his press events, corporate media would also be airing his empty podium. Like they gave him almost $1 billion worth of free press when he made his first run during the Republican primary and eventually the presidential election cycle of 2016. And there's a lot of anger at Trump. People in the media view him as the next Hitler, which again, Trump and Hitler have nothing in common. These are two different people, and the media is projecting because the truth is the media doesn't do its job in this country. The media is designed to give people propaganda.
Yeah, how about all those people that were actually hurt by Hitler?
Mhm.
Some of them are still
Yeah.
alive. So
Hmm.
that is a huge insult to them and what they have been through when you
Well,
think about it.
there's also the fact that there there has been a lack of support, especially when it comes down to even Secret Service for Donald Trump or some of the other presidential candidates, such as RFK Jr. Um, I feel watching the whole event play out, we as a nation, Americans, we dodged a bullet ourselves, and this kid who decided to do this horrific thing. Um, I don't think he really knew what he was doing because all reports are showing that he was very ill mentally. He was a social outcast and he was bullied a lot. But the fact that he was able to get on top of the roof where it was a police staging area and no one said anything to stop him save for the audience trying to tell the police that there's a shooter on the roof. It is rather frightening, and I have to wonder, was it on purpose? Was there something that was going on along the side? Because the fact that this kid is even in a BlackRock YouTube ad. For those who don't know, BlackRock is that same fantastic company that is loaning out money to Disney. So like this is a very powerful corporation that is intertwined with the Hollywood entertainment industry.
Yeah, and I watched that as well. So seems like he's been conditioned to do this, either by the media or by someone that was behind him. We have no idea yet because as of yesterday, they still were not able to get into his phone. But this guy is just an archetype, pretty much, of the kid that was bullied a lot. Then he was
Mhm.
probably conditioned. He had a lot of insecurities. And he wanted to get into the shooting team, but he wasn't accepted because he was very, very bad. That probably hit on his ego. And then he had this one thing to do in life. Probably somebody directed him and was like, well, you have no other purpose in life anyway, so why don't you try to enter history and beat everyone? And the fact that you actually reached the huge accomplishment of doing one of the most horrible things in history of mankind. So
Right,
off
but
you go.
we do have to be a little bit careful because again, that is like speculation. I mean, we until we're able to fully investigate just how and why he was able to do what he did, um, we could be doing what ifs for forever.
I
But
mean, I'm not
what I do,
actually. I mean, what I've said
yeah,
is
yeah,
is
yeah.
a
Well,
fact.
no, no, no,
I'm not
no, no,
speculating
no.
much.
No, I hear you because there have been incidents which again FBI or some other organization has, encouraged somebody to do something very foolish. I mean, we've seen that before.
Well, I don't know
Um,
who, but I'm saying that he fits this profile. Then everything else that
yeah,
I said is basically what it was released as information and how
yeah,
he was. And I also saw a video where he was trying to talk about something. I think that TMZ released that. Some guy was doing this behind his head. I mean, it's terrible. I really
mm,
feel for
yeah,
him, as a person, but that
yeah,
doesn't mean that. I mean, there's a lot of people that went through similar stuff, but they became stronger people for it. But that was not his case. That's what is sad
no,
here. That was not his case. So I just think that he
yeah,
didn't do that. I mean that is one that is speculation. That I just think that he didn't do that entirely on his own. But to the very least, even if there wasn't anyone behind him, maybe he was
mm,
conditioned by everything around him, the media, what he was listening to every day. He was registered to be a Democrat, but in fact, not Democrat, but Republican, but in fact, he was not. So, there's a lot of things that are not quite there. And then, of course, when you get to the event itself, I also watched some reports that police actually were after him, but they lost his track somewhere around the event and they didn't do anything after that to further pursue him. So that was kind of weird I mean, the event should be stopped by this point, but it wasn't. Then, of course, we saw the videos where he was on the roof. Everybody was pointing him out for 2.5 minutes at least. And then when he finally he shot, so to speak, then the sniper that was just directly like opposite of him, they were like this. It seemed that on the videos, the sniper or the snipers, I think there were two there, they saw him before that, but they didn't do anything. Absolutely anything. And after the boy shot, then they shot at him. But it was like with a huge, once again, late. It was a late response. So there was not supposed to be anyone there on that roof. First, second, they were supposed to um, remove him immediately or shoot at him immediately. Anything but what happened. So doesn't make any sense. This is either very huge incompetence, or it is incompetence plus what, or it's what only on purpose.
Um, again, as I mentioned earlier, that building that he was on was a staging area for the police, and the fact that there was no security around that building as well really says just overall, whoever was in charge to protect not only President Trump, but the entire attending audience. There needs to be a full investigation because more people could have died, and um, I will say I am very happy that at least no one in the audience panicked because there could have been a stampede. There could have been people who were, easily frightened, and nobody did that, and that's fantastic. And when Trump stood up, because as soon as I saw that video and Trump standing up, I'm like, oh, thank goodness, the man's still alive. He is still alive, and he's telling his viewing audience to fight. Whatever this kid was trying to do, he failed. And, you know, when you have a media like MSNBC or CBS or ABC or Fox News or CNN, when you have these media outlets promoting fear, promoting despair, and that there is no future, you are going to create an environment of irrational people, and you're going to create an environment in which those same rational people are going to feel like the only way for their pain to end or their emotional anguishes to end is to go after somebody who's evil or horrific. And what has corporate media done to Donald Trump? They turned him into this ghoul, this monster that he's not. Now, I am not a Democrat voter and I'm not a Republican voter, but the media that we have here only caters to the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, and it's extremely biased. And it really says a lot about overall just how divided this country is. One of Jack Black's bandmates, he's doing a Tenacious D tour, was saying, "Hey, that shooter should have hit Trump more directly." To which Then the fallout from that was Jack Black canceled his entire tour. And I do find it fascinating that you have all these quote unquote people of larger platforms like Destiny or anybody else saying, hey, we're going to, you have people who, I'm losing my train of thought here, but you have people here who are just promoting some vile hatred towards Trump.
Yeah, that is absolutely disgusting. I mean,
Hmm.
in the whatever way you can look at it. And of course, we have someone that really died, um,
Hmm.
and he was a firefighter and obviously a hero because he shielded his family,
Hmm.
and now he's dead because of this whole thing. And then, for absolutely for real, if Trump died, there's gonna be probably a huge civil war, yes. And then the whole world will suffer because none of these wars that we have now are gonna stop. You know where?
Hmm.
That's not gonna happen. The economy is gonna be ruined even more, probably, and a lot of other things like that. I mean, there's gonna be like a landslide of horrible events if he were to, you know. So I just the only thing that I can pray is that everybody go to vote when you're supposed to go to vote, guys, because we can't do anything here. You know, we can just watch and pray. You know, uh, for
Hmm.
um, for better days, not the Biden days, but better days, and that is it. Really, that's the only thing that we can do here to pray.
Well, what is funny to me is that the DNC convention is going to be here in Chicago, and the Democrats are going to have to pick who they want as their nominees. Do they choose to replace Joe Biden, or they go all in with it? And what I was talking to with some of my friends was, there's no way any Democrat is going to want to replace Joe Biden because with all the huge amount of support and love that Trump is getting, in my opinion, it's going to be a landslide victory for Trump. There's no way Biden is going to achieve anything. He, as a candidate, showed himself not once, not twice, but three times to be clearly out of it. If he doesn't have dementia, he has early onset dementia. The fact that there's been reports about Biden seeing a Parkinson's disease doctor, the man is clearly falling apart. And, we saw him stutter and stammer was his first debate. We saw him fail miserably was his interview with George Stephanopoulos. And then we finally see him fail miserably for his quote unquote big boy press event, and that's what they called it. And he's not there. He is not a serious candidate. And because of what happened on Saturday and Trump capitalizing and the Trump campaign also capitalizing with the momentum and support that they're getting, there's no pathway to victory for Joe Biden. It's over. I think it's a foregone conclusion. I could be wrong, but it's most likely all arrows, all destinations point to Trump re-entering into the White House at the end of November.
Yeah, but still, you know, you still gotta go and do it. So don't
Yeah.
get comfortable. You should never get comfortable. You should go there and do it, like he said, fight, fight, fight. You know. And you
Yeah.
know what
So,
is funny? What is funny is
but
that my mom actually, because she doesn't know English, she actually thought that she actually thought that Trump was saying F F F the F bomb. I'm like, Mom, no, he was saying fight, fight, fight because she knows like a few words in English, and and of course she knows F, you know. And I'm like, no, Mom, he's not saying that, okay? He's saying fight, 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 you know, meaning like go vote and stay strong. That's what it means. Damn it.
Mhm. Well, I had a few people say like, "Oh my goodness, we avoided a civil war. Thank goodness we avoided riots." And it the fact that the truth is that in America, our media and our politics has heavily divided us for years. And we talk about the entertainment industry, and the entertainment industry, it plays a role in Americans being divided and being against each other. And we need to come to terms of overall the environment that our media has created, because there are numerous examples of corporate media saying that Trump is a threat to democracy, that Trump is a danger to minorities or other groups, and that's not the case at all. They're making this up, and when you have a media that lies to you, it's going to severely impact people who are not mentally well in this country. And I don't know what was going on in this kid's head. I don't know what possessed him to think that that was a good idea. Now, I don't know if he might have been a constant consumer of corporate media like MSNBC or CNN, but if he is able to not only get a weapon, but secure himself a high location to take a shot at the president and actually follow through with it, um, I don't know what caused him to snap, but I mean, I wish somebody was able to talk to him, because there's another video out there on social media too, where it shows him, I think, in my opinion, having a full blown meltdown. He's screaming on his high school campus, and he is just clearly unhinged, and he's clearly somebody that is in what or was in desperate need of help.
Oh, damn it.
Hmm?
I just, yeah, it's a lot. It's just a lot, but I hope that whatever happens from now is only the good stuff. I mean, nobody really wants this. I mean, even the left side of things, which to me, American politics are a real mess. That's how they look like from the outside, you know. I'm sorry, just how it looks like. I mean,
Yeah.
what they're doing is harmful to them. It's harmful a lot. It's so
Mhm.
bad, but they don't realize that. They're
Well,
just like children, basically, that are emotionally
mhm.
driven only, no intellect at all, filled with hate, and projecting everything to the other side. But they're the ones that they're doing that. They're living in their own bubble of absolute evilness and hate that they're just projecting to the other people and saying that, no, you are bad, no, you are bad, no, you are this and you are that. And the other side is not actually doing that at all. And as far as I know, I mean, by statistics, they're the ones that are responsible for a lot of literal violence on the street and all of that, and not, you know, not the other side.
Mhm. Try living with American politics, because I live in Chicago, and according to some recent polls, they're saying that Chicago is the most corrupt city in America. As soon as you add in Washington D.C., then we're number two. And our political system does play a role in dividing us, just like the media does. And it's how they're able to make themselves relevant. Because if you actually had a responsible government, it would actually try and implement policies to make our lives better. And we don't have that. We have politicians who run for office because they're a lot of egomaniacs. They're just as concerned about earning more money or having a bigger legacy or more power, but they're not concerned about the welfare and safety of their own constituents. And this is the kind of system that we have here, and it desperately needs a massive overhaul, because corruption is just running amok, and it is unaccounted for, and it's what causes again more people to not trust said institutions. And I think a year ago Congress's approval rating was at 11%.
Jesus. Okay. So actually, because we don't have a lot of time, guys, we are on for 55 minutes. In the meantime, that kid you have been speaking, I found the custodes thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's go check it out.
Yeah, so guys, there's a lot of things that could be said about the situation with Donald Trump. I just wish him the best, speedy
Yeah, me too.
recovery, all of those things. It was a miracle. In my eyes, this is a miracle, because if he didn't turn his head, he would be dead now. So
Well,
it's really
actually,
amazing.
he did make a public statement. He did say, "Hey, I should be dead, and I'm very glad that I am alive." And he also showed up yesterday at the Republican National Convention. He had a Band-Aid on his ear, but for all purposes, he looked just fine, and he was doing fine. So he's doing good, and that's the one thing we should take away from it. And I just hope nothing else goes crazy. Just everything else, just everybody calm down. That's all I care about.
Me too. And also, I saw one guy. I'm watching a lot of health channels, and there's one guy in particular. I just forgot his name right now. Sorry, guys. But he basically only discussed his cognitive abilities and his reaction times, purely from a physical conditioning standpoint. And he said that for his age, and in general, actually, Trump reacted the fastest way out of everyone there. So thankfully, he ducked right away. I mean, really, thank God. Thank God.
All right, let's go find out about custodies.
Yes, yes. Okay, guys. So this is a screenshot on Reddit, and it's apparently coming from an ex-user called Marshall Bohemond Space Crusader VTuber. That is long. That is long. And it says, so after my post earlier, so basically he has a post earlier, okay. Here's what actually went down with the 10th edition Custodes at Games Workshop according to sources. It wasn't Amazon, it wasn't the GW higher-ups, and it wasn't the lore writing team. It was an editor who changed some pronouns around because he was under the impression no one actually read the lore and could get away with it. He approved it for printing after his little stunt, which was done purely to troll. Alcohol was probably involved. That Spanish rack spotted it almost instantly, and it caused an internal crisis at GW. Round 3 is notoriously against DEI garbage in Warhammer 40k, and they use AOS as a dumping ground for it to appease investors. They know they can safely put it there because AOS is unpopular. The Warhammer Twitter post that confirmed it was always canon was by a wiki intern from Nottingham University who also blocked all of those people. They were an obnoxious lefty according to sources, even by the standards of your average Warcom intern. Round 3 was going to stage a meeting to formulate a response and retraction before things got out of hand. But then the intern in charge of the Twitter account went AWOL. Round 3 was apparently furious. I mean, who is round 3? Round 3, that is how it says, round 3. Was apparently furious. Heads rolled due to this incident. Several people have been let go from Games Workshop. Amazon is probably highly confused about all of this because they've received so much hate mail blaming them for the incident that they had to actually answer with people and not canned AI responses. Much as I hate to defend Amazon, they're blameless in this situation. All reports after the incident show the Custodes boxes gathering dust on shelves. The editor's little trolling attempt, did more damage than the bad ruse ever could. The 4chan leaks about it were fake. TLDR. Games Workshop continues to have a left hand that doesn't know what is right and what is going, and what is, exactly how it says, what is right hand is doing, and now it's a bit, it's bit them right in their stock values and cost them dearly on what was supposed to be a tentpole faction release. CEO was a big mad. People go fired over it. You're under no requirement to believe any of this. I don't know where GW will go from here. Either way, the situation is hilarious.
Wow. All right. So, first of all, if you don't think that there's going to be, because look, I love Warhammer 40k. You have done great content and videos about Warhammer 40k content and lore, but there are dedicated people in the Warhammer 40k community that have been following through. The fact that you would think that nobody would pay attention in the Warhammer 40k community. I mean, come on, talk about ego and hubris, but also for the fact Games Workshop Are you not vetting your people? And same thing too for your Twitter account. Are you just really allowing, anybody to just man your situation, and there is no safety button or either that some sort of safety procedure to prevent somebody from trolling and antagonizing your base? If anything, Games Workshop needs to immediately fix this to regain support from the fans, because it's the fans that make you who you are, and Games Workshop clearly needs to have its house in order, because with everything that's happening to Disney Star Wars and to some extent Star Trek and Disney Marvel, um, a lot of these intellectual properties that were once golden have turned to crap. And, no one wants to see that happen to Warhammer 40K. So it is their social responsibility to protect their intellectual property and to listen to the fans. But they need to be careful who they hire, or either that really do more thorough background checks, because you just can't add in something and say it's always been like that. You are going to get pushback from the community. It's just that simple.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I found his Twitter, the real deal. So I'm going to go through that tomorrow maybe and see if I can find anything else. Is there any meat in this story really? What the heck is happening here? But if this is true, then it does mean that Games Workshop are completely off hands, and they need to be more on hands if they want to have a very thoroughly checked, well thought out lore, and everything that has to do with the lore, continuity, characters integrity, factions integrity, everything that entails. So I hope that
Mhm.
they get their stuff together, so to speak.
Wow. I hope they're able to fix themselves, and I hope they're able to at least make peace with the fandom. You never want to upset your base, because unless you want to end up like Star Wars or Doctor Who. I mean, look at those two IPs. They're so below in value that it's going to probably take maybe 10 or 20 years to people ever have real interest in them again, after what the writers and directors of both those franchises have said towards the fandom. Games Workshop, you don't have that luxury, because Warhammer 40K is for a niche audience. You don't have such a wide scale audience. You cannot afford to upset the people that are in your sphere, because they make you who you are.
Absolutely. And Trevor says, how is that true when they wrote fem stories into the codex? Well, as far as I gathered from what I've read, which I'm gonna read again, but if this guy who wrote this, and they just wrote it in the codex, I mean, it's not specified where it was written exactly. Just that it was written, and they decided to like go with it because there's some piece of lore in the codex as well, so to speak. And also, Trevor says it was definitely none that just a tweet. I'm not buying it. Not with Black Rock and Vanguard are involved. Yeah, I know. I mean, from one hand, yeah, um, they are involved. We don't know how much in terms
Mhm.
of making decisions, making such lore changes. They're a huge company. I don't know how much they want to be involved in the details. We don't know. We're just not there. So we can't be like, oh yes, this is true, and we can't be like, oh yeah, this isn't true, because we just don't know. So that's why we should gather this information, whatever that is, and let's see what actually comes out in the future, and then we're going to be like, oh yeah, nothing was true, some part is true. So we have to record these things anyway to know what they are.
Right. Precisely. Well, um, I just do find it interesting that they would think that nobody would pay attention. Like, nobody's not going to pay it. This is the Warhammer 40K community. There are so many people. As soon as a Warhammer 40K lore video comes up on Luton's page, or on Major Kill, or on anybody else's account, there's going to be people having back and forth conversations about said subject and going into detail about all the books or related books about said subject. I mean, this is the 40K community. There's going to be people, a lot, who are going to be paying attention.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just watching what he wrote, but it does not say when that was written. So it's going to, I mean, 2 days ago was the post on Reddit, but when he actually posted that on Twitter, I still can't find it. So yeah, I'm gonna take my time tomorrow and see where that is really before I continue with the story. But yeah, guys, so we do have to go now. It's very freaking late where I am, especially. And Kid has to go on with his lovely afternoon. But let us know what
Hmm.
you think, guys, if you like in the chat about what has transpired with Space Marine 2 leaking out on the internet. And then, I mean, the silver lining of that is that it's very hard to get there. I mean, and if you want to get to the game, you have to open your PC for all kinds of threats, probably, unless you know something else. But if you have a good antivirus, it will not let you touch this site with a 10-foot pole. That's one thing. Then, of course, what do you think about the situation in America right now with the assassination attempt of the candidate that we all know, Mr. Donald Trump, and of course the very bad online reactions of some people like Destiny, this person that was on our show Death, and others like him, who actually really praise this attempt instead of condemning it and all of those things. And yeah, what do you think about female custodies in general? So yeah, just put your thoughts down below, guys. I'm reading everything and answering to most comments that I can. And thank you for Kit for being here.
Absolutely. Keep on doing a great work, and let's just keep pushing forward. And everybody, please take good care of yourselves and each other.
Absolutely, I second that. Okay, guys, love it. Till next time with me, the 40K Empress and Kit. Bye, guys.